What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another Rating Your Squads video. Today guys, I decided to go with what you guys are going to think as your week 1 FUT Champs projected squads. As you can see here, I tweeted out 3 hours ago now. Yesterday we did the 50k squads. If you missed that, go check it out. And today I would love to rate your projected FUT Champs Week 1 squad. And the reason why I went for this is because at least the last couple of years, FUT Champs didn't start for a couple of weeks into the game, which obviously gives people time to build up their clubs, get a foundation together, get a team together. I don't know if that's going to be the case in FIFA 21 because of obviously the fact the game's been delayed and so on and so forth. So I don't know how that's going to go. Before we get into the rest of this though, guys, if you're enjoying the content, drop a thumbs up on the video. Let's try and smash 5,000 likes for today's video. Hit that bell to get notified when the videos go live. Yesterday's video, guys, was trending, I think number 31 at one point on gaming. So thank you for the unbelievable support. And of course, let me know in the comment section below how you rate these teams. So they're going to be picked at random again. I don't know what they're going to be. I have taken FIFA YouTuber Crassy's. And what I'm interested to see here and why I went for FUT Champs Week 1 squads is because I want to see, first of all, what people think would be a viable Week 1 FUT Champs squad and how many people, obviously from a random small selection of just 5, but how many people have the same sort of players in the squad. And so, first of all, we have got cfctom, fantastic profile picture there as well, Tom. Congratulations. Always good to raise the awareness. And he has got together a fairly Chelsea-themed squad. I guess he's a Chelsea fan. He's got ones to watch Werner and one to watch Ziyech in the team. He's got Pulisic in there, Kovacic, Havertz, obviously scored a hat-trick for Chelsea in the Carabao Cup, James, Zuma, Gulashi, Klosterman, Schultz, and Chan. And I like this squad a whole bunch. Gulashi, phenomenal goalkeeper by the looks of things. Red Bull or Leipzig in general have got a ridiculous set of players. Klosterman, guys, if we can pop him up here, looks just genuinely sensational. Good stamina for a centre-back. Not that it's necessarily needed. Decent reactions, great sprint speed, very well-rounded defensive stats. He's a very, very strong player. Schultz looks good. Chan looks great. I think Chan's going to be very, very expensive. How's Kovacic in-game stats? Dribbling's really nice. Passing is really nice. He's okay defensively as well. 4-star, 4-star too. That's not a bad card. And I think this might be the sort of card that people will look at and dismiss because he's got poor shooting, poor defending, poor physical. But when you look at the in-games, his dribbling and passing are very, very nice. He's got the 4-star, 4-star. He's got decent pace. And yeah, his shooting's not great. His defending's not terrible. Interceptions and standing tackle are not bad at all. So Kovacic there, not a bad player either. Kai Havertz is going to be really nice. Obviously, the two Chelsea boys are going to be in there as well. James and Zuma also both very nice. Zuma a little bit slow, but defending and physical, very nice. You know, his defending is well-rounded. His physicals are brilliant. His passing's not so great, and neither is his pace. But for a Week 1 FUT Champs squad, that's not bad. I like it a lot. You've got really good defensive player in Emre Can, a decent-ish box-to-box in Kovacic, and then you've got 4 good attackers with the Chelsea boys there. I'm looking forward to seeing Ziyech actually play in the Premier League. Hopefully he gets over his injury soon. I don't know how long he's injured for, but I will give that as a Week 1 FUT Champs squad. If I came up against that Week 1 FUT Champs, I'll be like, God damn, we're in for a game. I'd literally give that, assuming it's free to play, I'd give that like an 8.5 out of 10. What do you guys think? Next up, guys, we've got Kieran. And Kieran says, hoping I will be able to afford this. And this is starter team week 2 or 3. And the first thing I see, and I saw Nick talking about this on his stream yesterday, is that you do not want to be position changing cards this early in FIFA. It's not worth it. You are going to end up spending 10 or 15,000 coins to convert Promes down to a centre mid and somewhere similar to convert Sissoko up to a striker. I don't personally think that's worth it at this stage in the game. That is a whole bunch of coins that you could improve your squad on instead of using those players. With that being said, Pavlenka, real nice as a goalkeeper. His diving and reflexes are super, super good. His handling, not so great. Klosterman in there again, so we've seen him now twice. We've got Babu, who looks brilliant. We've got Upamecano, who looks brilliant. Haps, who's always nice in the start of the game because of his pace and obviously gets that strong link to Promes, who strong links to Neres. And we've seen Neres, of course, in a lot of the starter squads. Great pace and dribbling, and then okay stats outside of that. So I like Neres a lot. Nkunku, decent. Again, looking at him, what's he got for in-games? 4-star skill moves, really nice dribbling stats, quite nice passing stats. I think there'd be a lot of players very similar. I think it'd be cheap. So in terms of like hoping to afford this team, I think the only players that you're really looking at that might be mad expensive, Lucas is probably going to be expensive because he's a pace merchant in the Premier League. Sissoko is probably going to be expensive because he's just got that mad hype around him. He's got some really good key stats as well. Short passing and long passing are very nice. Sprint speed is very nice. His dribbling in general is nice, like the dribbling stat, and then his physicals and defensive stats are obviously very, very nice. So, you know, depending on if that tanky player in the midfield is meta against, Sissoko could absolutely be good and is probably going to be expensive because of that. And because we've seen him already twice and we saw him in so many other teams as well, I think Klosterman's actually going to be fairly expensive. 84 pace, guys, is nuts. His defending is nuts. His physicals are very good. I like this team from Kieran a lot. Not as much as a previous squad. Saying you hope to be able to afford this. As I say, I think other than Sissoko, Lucas, and possibly Klosterman, and maybe Promes as well, I don't think this is going to be an expensive squad at all. To go 2 to 3 weeks into the game and think that you might not be able to afford this, maybe your time is going to be limited on the game, and that's why. But generally speaking, I think that you will be absolutely able to afford this squad, even with a little bit of, even without pack luck. Like the amount of SBCs that come in at the start of the game, the ease of ability to obtain coins at the start of the game, and the fact that this year you don't have to rotate players, you don't have to buy fitness cards, you don't have to do any of that. You'll be able to save coins as well. I think this would be very easily affordable. We've next up got Crassy, guys. As I say, I tweeted out that yesterday we did the 50k squads. He said, hopefully this one. Now, I know Crassy also runs a Road to Glory as well. And here you go. So Crassy, a high-level FIFA player. He's got Vinicius Jr., Inaki Williams, who looks genuinely outrageous for a starter player. For week 1 FUT champs, he's going to be a god. 81 composure, ridiculous pace, and 85 shot power and positioning. With that good physicals as well, he will be an absolute goal machine in the first 2, 3, 4 weeks. You've got Adama and Vinicius as well with that huge pace. And you can tell, I mean, listen, you could tell the theme here. He's got Morales up front as well, obviously converting him to a centre mid as well. I don't necessarily think it's going to be good. The thing I know about Crassy is that, like me, he's going to have an abnormal amount of time to put into the game, where converting a player down, even if it costs 8, 10, 15,000 coins, isn't going to be the end of the world, because he's just going to be able to put so much time into the game to make it back. Morales with a 4-star, good pace, decent dribbling, and good positioning as well, will be a very, very nice player to pop in there. Valverde and Llorente in midfield, they are both going to be very expensive. In fact, this team in general is probably just the level below the big players. You know, Vinicius Jr. with the 5-star skill moves, 4-star weak foot, great pace and dribbling. Inaki Williams, super pace. Adama Traore, super pace. Valverde is going to be one of the most sought-after midfielders, I think, in the game in the early stages this year, much like Llorente, actually, because his stats are so well-rounded. Morales as an attacker is going to be very good. I like the balance of the team. Roussillon, very nice. Going to be, again, expensive this year. Very well-rounded. Great dribbling for a fullback. Very good pace and very well-rounded outside of that. I like it a lot. Upamecano there again. Klosterman there. Again, the third game in a row that the third team in a row that we've seen Klosterman, he's going to be so expensive. There is so much hype around him. People are going to want him. And then Mbabu there for the second time around as well. All in all, this is a banging team. If I came up against this team in FUT Champs week 1, I would be so like, I'll just be upset. I'll be like, oh, for crying out loud, really? So for that, guys, I think I'm going to rate this one a 9 out of 10. I think this is a brilliant squad, and it would be devastating to come up against that in FUT Champs week 1. We've next up got Isaac Evans, guys, and Isaac links us this squad. And if we can get it up here, okay, about 5 times we had to click that there. Evans FC. This is an interesting one, because this is not an expensive squad. He's got Estupinan at left back with Deulofeu, and I really like that link. Obviously, Watford aren't in the Premier League anymore, but they've actually got a lot of very good players. And it's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one, because they've got Suarez, who looks good. Pereira, who would be okay as a cam. Capoue, not very good. They've got Sarr, who would be very good. They've got Estupinan and Deulofeu, who would all be very good. You can put together, if you think left back, left mid Deulofeu, striker Suarez, and then play Sarr as a centre mid on 7 chem, you've actually got yourself 4 brilliant players for the early stages that I think will be super cheap, because they're in the Championship. And you could even then link in Foster with an English centre-back or something like that. Or maybe another Championship centre-back. What have we got for championship players outside of the ones that we've seen there, there's not much else going on there. Wayne Rooney's in there. Doesn't have a bad card. Josh King is in there as well. But yeah, Wayne Rooney doesn't have a bad card. Really nice in-game stats. Not going to be easy to link and has obviously low pace. But I think for James Rodriguez, it's not going to be a problem for me. I really like this link on the left-hand side. I have a feeling Rodrigo is going to be ridiculously expensive. 82 rated only, sure. But his stats are just far, far too good. With 4-star skill moves, that pace, those shooting and dribbling stats, he's going to be extremely sought after in the early stages. Danny Ings probably won't be too much, especially for a day one. Hopefully pace isn't the meta this year, and using someone with 85 finishing and fairly well-rounded stats outside of that's going to be good with a 4-star weak foot. He'd be nice to have up there. So I like that. Adama, again, is probably going to be quite expensive. You then got McTominay and Fleck as good CDMs. Fairly well-rounded players. Quite like that. James in there again. Stones, Lindelof. I like that pairing. This is definitely a poor man's week 1 FUT champ squad. This is somebody that's basically shoved all of their spare coins that they could find into Rodrigo and Adama and has got a day 1 squad around them. I think if this is your squad week 1 FUT champs, as nice as it is, I think you'll struggle. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10 for Isaac's squad right there. And then last but not least, guys, we've got Owen Dickinson. And he says, hoping to have this, changing to 4-2-3-1 with Jota, Cam and Promes on the left. Should be pretty attainable, but if not, then there are cheaper players I can just have that won't have an effect on Chem or an effect on how it plays. And so looking at this squad, that Davinson Sanchez, we didn't look at him for our cheap overpowered players. Really nice card. Good reactions for a centre-back. Good short passing for a day 1 centre-back. Great defending. Great physicals. And very strong sprint speed as well. I have a feeling he might be quite expensive. Regulon, of course, now in for Spurs as well. He is going to be ridiculously expensive. Eric Bailly, I don't think will be expensive. Henderson, neither so. Mazraoui. Did I say that right? I don't think he'll be particularly expensive. Another person with Promes, very popular, and another person who's converted Promes. I think he's going to be quite... I think Promes is another one of those players who's going to be quite expensive. I feel like this team will be fairly expensive off the bat. I don't think Thiago will be too bad because of the 64 pace. I think before Jota signed for Liverpool, I would have said he wouldn't have been crazy expensive. Yes, he has 5-star, 4-star, which is really valuable, but people look at the face card stats and they won't be turned on too much. I think now that not only is he at Liverpool, but when you look at his in-game stats, 88 acceleration, great dribbling, really nice shooting, good stamina, fantastic aggression. He's going to be, for an 80 rated, crazy expensive. We're probably talking, I would guesstimate 15, 20, 25k. Richarlison, I think, is going to be expensive. Allen, I think, is going to be very expensive. Thiago, maybe not, maybe so. Regulon will be expensive. Davinson Sanchez will be expensive. I really like this team. I think this team is incredibly well-rounded. He's obviously got Allen as a good CDM. He's got Thiago that can play a defensive role. I'm not going to say he's a defensive-minded midfielder, but he's not got terrible stats there. 83 interceptions and 71 stand tackle. Amazing passing, amazing dribbling, 5-star skill moves. Very nice indeed. And then for an attacking quartet, Jota and Richarlison with the 5-star, 4-star for each of them. Promes with the 4-star, 5-star, and Anthony with the 4-star skill moves as well. That would be a very, very strong attack. I don't think this... I think this is like a little bit... I think I prefer Crassy's team out of all of them as a FUT champ squad. But this would be a very, very, very strong squad. Having the 2 5-star, 4-stars as your 2 strikers, and then Anthony and Promes as your cams, I think would be really strong, really, really nice. You know, I think it is a brilliant squad. I'd probably put this one at like just not quite as good as Crassy's squad, maybe like an 8.8, something along those lines. But there we have it, guys. That is another week 1 potential FUT champ squad. There definitely seems to be a theme. Quincy Promes and Klosterman are seemingly going to be extremely, extremely overused. We now have an 87 Luis Suarez. Of course, he doesn't play for Barcelona anymore. I have a feeling, especially now that he's at Atletico, I have a feeling this car is going to be crazy cheap for an 87. And the reason being is because his pace is so low. But much like players like James Rodriguez and Wayne Rooney, his in-game stats are so good that this will be one of those cards that I think in the early stages will be sensational until pace is super, super meta again, which it always becomes eventually. We've also got Pavard and then Golan's card in there. Corona's card. Oh, he's a right mid now instead of a right back. That's interesting. Ocampos obviously scored an own goal. Oh, Ian Robin. Do we have his in-game stats yet? So Benjamin Pavard doesn't look great as a right back. Would probably make a better centre back. We've got Rajan Angolan, who looks great once. Oh my God, look at that card. Oh, he has to be in people's teams. That is such a good card for an 83 rated. That is ridiculous stats. We've got Corona with the 4-star, 5-star. Fairly decent defensive stats as well. As I say, you know, he was a right back in previous years. Was it last year he was a right back? Right mid, right mid, right mid, right wing, or at least he had a right back special card last year, and played right wing or whatever it was. Good card actually with the 4-star, 5-star. Not the best shooting, but 89 stamina, great pace, great dribbling. It's not a terrible card there at all. And then Iron Robin, we have his in-game stats. I want this card in my early stage teams. Yes, he'll probably only have to be used as a sub with that 51 stamina, but once again, with 4-star skill moves, really tidy dribbling, really tidy shooting, and nice passing as well, with decent pace for a little 30-minute burst at the end of a game, Iron Robin's going to be a beast. And I have one of those feelings again that he's going to be like 1,000 coins, because people will look at that pace, they'll look at that weak foot, and they'll look at that stamina and be like, not for me. But then when you actually play with him in game for that little stint, he'll be really, really good. But there you go, guys. That is 5 more squads coming up potentially for FUT Champs in FIFA 21. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.